Hey, I just wanted to hop on really quick and tell you about this amazing conference that I've been attending this week. And it was the Emotional Intelligence Conference held, sponsored by Mark Brackett and a bunch of the leading cutting edge researchers and practitioners of emotional intelligence. And, Mark is the guy that wrote Permission to Feel, which has been such an amazing book and permission for me to step into who I've always kind of been and felt like that wasn't okay. He is bringing actual tools to measure and practice emotional intelligence, being able to recognize, understand, label, express and regulate emotions, and then bringing these tools into schools and corporations. And just, he wants to have an emotion revolution, and so do I, because I think this time on the planet is no time has been more demonstrative of how our feelings impact our life experience, positive or negative, and really what are going to build the resilient skills to get through this time. Other featured speakers and conversationalists were with Angela Duckworth, who is the author of Grit, and talked about how steadfast determination in spite of setbacks and failures, it's not just about reaching your goal is not just about trying harder or increasing your productivity, but implying skills of flexibility and adaptability. And, how do I reach my goal in a different way that's less taxing and less stressful and unpleasant? And this is really pertinent to me sending my kids to college despite all the stuff, the turmoil, the racial tensions, and viruses and just politics. It's really comforting to think about my kids having these capabilities to just, if they can get through this time, if we can all get through this time, we can do anything, right? So these conversations were so inspirational. Sigal Bursad is a professor at the Wharton School of Business, and she talked about emotional contagion. And it's not just like the emotions that you pick up from the people you live with or people you work with, but what we pick up from the media and what we pick up from a meme, or the radio. You can turn off that feedback or that input, but it kind of penetrates, right? Whereas the conversations you have in your own hemisphere or your own environment, you feel like you can negotiate or have a conversation about to kind of bring it full circle. We have to really be conscious of what we let into our psychological space, and maybe turn it off, right? Because if it's not helping you, it's hurting you. And that kind of virulence, that kind of toxicity, that infectious quality, in the same way we have to take precautions against corona, we have to take precautions against what we let into our emotional space. Phenomenal woman, Janet Miller Evans, really reminded me of the Maya Angelou for 2020. Just such a soothing voice of wisdom and calm and insight, and focusing on what we can control in circumstances where we feel like everything is out of control, and that privilege. Not everyone does have the privilege or permission to feel, right? It's something if we have it, we're fortunate. And if we don't feel like it, then we have to focus on what we can control, like taking slow breaths before the meeting, or going for a walk, or washing your face, or having a good meal to get through stressful times, unpleasant meetings, that type of thing. So much, I can't even cram it into this brief little summary. But the thing I was most touched by and enthusiastic about was the final speaker I saw yesterday, who was Dr. Keltner, and I adore him. He works at he's at Berkeley and founded the Greater Good Science Center, and really talked about one of the best tools he has for emotion regulation, and that is these awe walks. He goes on walks and turns off all phones, conversations that he needs to have or had, and walks in nature. It doesn't have to be in a park or someplace famous or maybe closed off now. It can just be in your neighborhood, and listening for sounds of birds, or where is that sound of rain coming from, which direction. These moments of awe in our daily lives are what make us feel alive and carry us through tough times. And it's really those awe moments, those moments of wonder that I think we're all seeking every day in all the things that we're trying to do to kind of get that feeling through money and buying things. And that connection that we're really craving is that awe-inspired feeling, right? So just so much good. Sorry for the long video. Chat soon.